What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into another episode and another week of the What the Fuck podcast. I'm Nick. That's Gunk. Gunk, we're back for another week. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. We're ready for the big stretch run here. We're down a lot of teams with less than 10 games to go. This is the most exciting time of year, I feel like. A lot of people say October is one of the best years, with football coming back and then, the winter sports starting up, but April, March and April are some of the best times. You got March Madness, you got the end of the regular season into the playoffs for both the winter sports. Baseball's back. I mean,
What,
torpedo bats. I mean, come on
yeah,
now.
can we talk about that real quick? I want your opinion.
Sure, absolutely.
What do you think on
Sure. Well, how do you
torpedo
feel?
bats? I think they're fine. There's nothing saying you can't, and that for the people whining and complaining that it's the Yankees, it's not. Um, it's not. I don't see the problem, and I was talking to a friend of mine the other day about it, and excuse me, he said Cody Bellinger was using it a little bit last year with the Cubs. He sucked. He's using them with the Yankees now. He's doing pretty good. Not sure what the problem is.
Right.
So, torpedo bats are fine. They're not helping Francisco Lindor hit any balls.
No.
So, I don't care. Um, Use whatever you want. I use steroids if you want. I don't care.
Well, in this era, again, everything, especially when it's Yankee related, as we all know, especially as, being from this area, everything for baseball is Yankee related, basically. And if the Yankees do something like this, they're always going to be accused, just like the Patriots did back in the day, other teams back in the day. When you dominate a sport for so long and for almost now, almost a millennial now, or excuse me, a century now, I mean, you're going to get criticized. And unfortunately, they talked about it on the broadcast, which, I'm sure when you look at them swinging the bats, you can't even really tell until they was really pointed out. I mean, at least to that things. I mean, but again, I feel like that it should be open to everyone. If everyone's going to use them, then go for it. But if you can't just limit it to a team, which again, the Yankees, again,
It's
very
not even
smart
limited to a team
organization.
though. Multiple teams are using them.
Right. Multiple
So
teams are using them.
if you want to use a regular bat, use a regular bat. If you want to use one to help you, use one to help you. I don't. It As long as you're not using metal bats, like juiced up metal,
Exactly.
like kid bats. Do whatever you want. I don't care.
And actually, that I wouldn't mind those metal bats. How much I missed that when I was playing Little League. Those tings are some of the best sounds ever. I mean, yeah, the crack of a bat is great,
Yeah, but a
but the
foul
ting.
ball off that in the cold will have it ringing
Oh
your
no.
hands.
Oh, I think that's why my hands are arthritic up now because of the friggin' baseballs I used to play back in the day. Holy crap!
Man,
No,
but
no, no, no gloves, no nothing like that. Just metal on hands. It was chopped meat hands. I
absolutely.
swear.
But we
Chopped
got
meat hands.
hockey to
Yeah,
talk about.
we sure do.
We're coming up on the postseason. Many teams are starting to clinch their spots. The Devils are not one of them yet, but they've played games since we last talked. Last week we were getting ready to watch and see how the Devils did against Winnipeg and Minnesota. Get shut out against Winnipeg. Let's talk about it.
All right. So what I talked about last week was watching the Devils play one of the worst teams in the NHL, the Chicago Blackhawks. I'm going to bring up this now. I believe in Winnipeg. Wow. Did they look phenomenal against the Devils? All their lines were rolling. I mean, I didn't even get a chance to sit down and we're down 2-0. And it's like, what the heck are we doing? Like, and I went to the realization that we are right now in the middle of the pack as a team. We're not this great, great team that's going to be rolling through the playoffs. We're a good, solid playoff team. Winnipeg just blew the doors off us. And again, this goes back to the game a couple weeks ago where they kind of blew the doors off us. So now Devils fans should be worried about, this loss. But again, the weekend they had a good comeback, against 2 games against another kind of playoff team right now. They're in a playoff spot, the Minnesota Wild. They played 2 great games against them. I mean, Nico Hischier is really carrying this team right now. I mean, without him, this team is in the tank. I mean, you can't say that he is carrying his team. And I know we all talk about Jesper Bratt really racking up the points, and we can talk about Luke Hughes playing phenomenally. And the one game he didn't play, he must have tweaked his leg or something, and something was going on that night against Winnipeg. He did not play that game, and again, you could tell in the game you really needed a Luke Hughes in there. I mean, we're getting to the point now where we need a Luke Hughes in that lineup to even have a sniff of a chance. But the Winnipeg game, like I said, I'm chalking it up to just Winnipeg's just a great team. I mean, they really came out and put it to the Devils, and it was sad to see. Again, you're sitting down and it's 2-0. I mean, as a player, you must be like demoralized, like beyond belief. So, but again, I feel the Winnipeg game was a microcosm of this season. Winnipeg is really good. That's why they probably will be the President's Trophy winners, if not them, Washington. They just proved that they're a great team, and Hellebuck looks fantastic. And I'd be scared about that team in the playoffs right now.
I would agree, but I feel like Hellebuck is also the player that you have to worry about in the playoffs because he's not the he hasn't had the best track record for goals against in the playoffs. But I have a question because I've been seeing it a lot on social media, and a lot of Devils fans have been unhappy with how Brendan Dillon has been playing. I want to know what you think about that because I thought he's been fine for for the contract that you have him on.
I also think that he's, with the injuries to the lineup right now, he has to be moved up. I mean, when we signed him, he was going to be that solid third pairing defenseman that could team up with one of the kids, and or team up with a Hamilton who is more of an offensive player, where Dillon's more defensive player. And again, with the injuries, he kind of had to be bumped up a little bit, looking for a little more out of him. And like I said, he hasn't stepped up in the last couple of weeks. I mean, he had that one terrible turnover the other day. I mean, really almost could have cost us the game in the Minnesota game. It was really bad turnover. But I mean, again, he's coming out. He plays. He's not going to be on the power play. Their penalty kill with him has been really good. Again, he's one of those players he does his job. I mean, yes, he makes a mistake here and there, but I don't feel like he's been missing out like since the beginning of the season. I mean, he's played pretty consistently this whole season for at least to me as an outside guy looking in on them. I feel like he really brought a defensive presence to this team, and like I said, right now with the way the defense is now, you need somebody like him in there just to settle it down, kind of bring leadership to this role.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm seeing a lot of people saying that this is probably one of the worst contracts that the Devils have signed recently, and I don't think so. The Devils needed a bit more size and toughness, and now that they have a bit more size and toughness on the back end, they're upset. I think they're just upset that not every player is scoring goals. So they're finding the people that aren't, looking at who has the lowest goal totals and just being like they're bad.
Right.
And they're not.
One more point I want to bring up too is these contracts that these guys signed. New Jersey was not a number one for a lot of these players. I mean, a couple of them, yes, but this is a team has not had success over the last 10 years, ever since the last Cup run in 12. They've not had great success. So this is the time where the big players, the free agents are not looking to come to New Jersey. So they had to, overpay a little bit for some of these players. And I understand that you have to establish your culture first before these great players will come to your team. You got to establish a Jack and a Nico before these guys want to come play with them. So,
and
if you have to overpay for them, I mean, like I said,
not for nothing. This is their guys. This is all these guys' first seasons. Like these new guys,
right.
These are all their first seasons with the team. And this is your coach's first full season.
First season.
Guys,
exactly.
It's okay.
Yes, absolutely. Don't hit the panic button yet, guys.
You're in a playoff spot. What is there to panic about? You're safely in a playoff spot.
And I know who you're exactly talking about. It's those crazy, crazy Devils fans. I've read them like I said, I see them on Facebook. I follow them on Facebook all the time.
Yeah, certain tanks just needs to stop.
Yeah, it's like if you look at my Facebook during the games as I'm watching it, and you just one little mistake and they're ready to get rid of the player. I mean, God, it's a team concept, guys. You gotta bring the team together. This is not a quick build. This is a build. These kids that are your stars are going to be around for the next 5 to 6 years. You're not winning a cup this year. You're going to get into the playoffs, put up a good stand against Colorado. If you lose the series, you lose the series. If you win the series, fantastic. That just builds on the momentum. But this season for right now, especially with the injuries, with the skill level, they're not Stanley Cup contenders right now. So these people got to understand this. And like I said, the team will change over the next 2, 3, 4 years. Let's see what happens, and let's enjoy the run now. We could be where your team is right now, fighting for a playoff spot. You know, under not meeting expectations the way they should have. This team is right on pace where they should be. I feel like they're not a great team, but they're not a terrible team right now. Let's see
I
what happens in the next couple weeks. Get into the playoffs and then see what happens and enjoy the run.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I mean, you and Carolina are gonna have a fun first round series.
Absolutely.
Uh, and then, I mean, it's gonna be exciting either way because you have three teams at this point fighting for that last wild card spot. The playoffs are going to be
Right.
exciting for every team because you don't know what's gonna happen now.
Right, exactly. And like I said, I'd rather be right now in the position that we're in, we're 8 points up right now with 8 to play. I mean, you're in the driver's seat.
Yeah,
You should be you fans should be getting ready for a playoff run and see what happens. And like I said, you got to take time with these guys. These guys are young. Don't get them frustrated. There's a lot of youth on this team, and it's gonna build. You don't need all these extra players right now for a run you're not gonna make. Be smart. Fitzgerald's being smart about this. And I know a lot of people want to see his head on a platter, and the trades, the little trades that they're making at the deadline, and you know, it's a process, guys. Take time, relax. This team is going to be good in a few years. I promise you.
yeah, and they're pretty good right now.
Right.
Home and home against Minnesota last week. 5-2 win and a 3-2 shootout win. The shootout win was weird because the goals that Minnesota scored were they just seemed odd. Like you
Right.
never really saw them go in. You just had a feeling that they went in. Like it
They
was a
went in
lot of
right.
like garbage plays in the middle of like in the slot area that just
Right.
that just beat Markstrom.
Yes, absolutely. And there was goals in that game that were disallowed. I mean, the one where it fell on Gustafson's back, and literally he almost put it in the net himself, and it literally was like a millimeter away from going in all the way across the line. And then the other goal, which was disallowed, was the one where they were offsides by maybe like a millimeter, where on the rush they got in and scored, and that goal was disallowed by a millimeter. So again, you played a really great game against the Wild both games. Again, I want to bring up again Nico Hischier, a hat trick in the first game, and it was the momentum changer. You were coming off that Winnipeg game where you got your doors blown off, and the captain comes out on the first shift of the game and gets a 2-on-1, sets it up or gets the setup and score. You're up 1-0. You got the confidence back. And now the momentum is starting to build. So hats off to him for just getting that started for these guys. And I feel like that was a little bit of a momentum changer going into these two games. And now you have the 4 days break, which I am a little worried about going into Saturday's game against the Rangers. It's going to be a
Nah,
great
don't
game
be.
for
It's all
both
right.
teams. It's going to be a really good game, great game for both teams. They really both need them. The Devils not specifically just because it would be a 4-point swing if they lost. It would give them a little trouble, but right now, like I said, you're about a 99% chance of making the playoffs. Like I said, you have 4 days rest now. Now is time to take advantage, get the guys rested up, and get ready for Saturday's game against the Rangers because as the Rangers been playing recently, they've not
They
been playing
suck.
so bad.
They suck. Gunk.
It's so
Say
bad.
it. They suck. Let's talk about the Ducks. Let's talk about the. Let's talk about the Rangers and the Mighty Ducks. It's my. It's me now. How do you
Yeah.
lose to the Ducks? The Duck. You have multiple 2-goal leads. It was 3-1 at one point. 14 seconds into the second period, Loft scores, makes it 3-1, and then you make it 4-2 off a Mika power play goal. That never happens.
Nope.
And then you give up 2 goals in the last 6 minutes of the game, and the game winner in the first minute. That's awful. If you if you have a chance to look at this goal through, even like if you just go on NHL.com and look at the goal visualizer thing from the game,
Okay.
you can legitimately watch all 3 Rangers players on the overtime goal in a row. Their numbers are just lined up next to each other. It was Panarin, Trocheck, and Fox all out. And wow, that was bad. The Ducks are just a young, better team.
Oh no.
Like, if they didn't get like flogged in every single game that they played against better teams, they would be so much better than the Rangers were. Awful,
Oh,
terrible.
wow.
But you got a point. Yeah, they all lined up next to each other.
Wow.
Yeah,
They they played the smallest triangle ever.
yeah,
Oh,
and they had
what the hell
throughout.
what was Igor doing? Freaking 18 feet out of the freaking
Yeah,
net.
I don't know.
Oh shit.
And they had their guys too. What happened was one of the Ducks players went behind the blue line and came back into the zone, and Fox got confused because he lost his guy, so he drifted back up into the middle. And that's not how that works. You
Oh,
can't,
no, I don't think so.
like, keep an eye on your guy and follow him. Like, your other 2 guys have him, like, have their people.
especially
It got
when-
so much bad. It got so bad.
And most of the time you're following, a couple people at a time, and it's you got way less ice. There's way less
There's
people on the
3
ice.
guys on the ice.
There's 3
2 of your other guys have 2 of their guys. If you don't have your guy, chances are he's behind you. Find him.
Exactly.
Oh, excuse me. Find him. And then I think if the Rangers didn't beat San Jose the day after, there wouldn't be an episode this week. Or if there was, I'd be in a mental institution right now. Wow. They won 6-1. That's great. I had fallen asleep at like 9 before this game started because I had work Sunday morning. I woke up randomly because I don't know what happened, and the game was still on.
Oh god.
It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. The game was still on, so I looked and I was like, "Oh, what's the score?" And I saw 6-0, and I was like, "Oh, that's fun." So I turned the game on, and as I turned the game on, San Jose scores to make it 6-1, and I was just like, "Great, what a way to start." What a way to start. I was just like, okay, cool. Like, quickest pitch in a shutout against San Jose. It's 6-0. This must be a good game. I turn it on. Boom, 6-1.
Boom.
Boom.
And as a fan, that always happens. I feel that way sometimes myself. Sometimes there'll be times when if I especially now, because like I said, with my schedule, sometimes I get up later and the games are on earlier, so I'll get up in the middle of the second period or something like that at I think it was the other day, it was like a 5:30 or 6 o'clock start or whatever it was. I think it was the Wild game that started at 6, and I got up and I'm like, okay, well, maybe I just won't turn this on. It's kind of like you kind of go back and forth, like, ooh, should I turn it on? Especially with the information age where everything pops up on your phone. You get reminders, especially, with sports teams. I always get reminders of, oh, they start in 15 minutes. The game starts now, oh, this guy scored. This guy scored. All right. The end of the first, So it's so hard to not be surprised anymore. We're not going back to the days of Seinfeld where, he taped the Mets game and, and Kramer's telling him what happened in it, Those days are pretty much over with. You find out information so quick nowadays.
Yeah, thank God I was able to learn the information kind of quick, because if I just turned the game on and saw a worse score, I would have thrown my phone. I
Yeah,
would
exactly.
it would have been out a window and it would have been sitting outside. I wouldn't have cared because if you lost to the Sharks, I would have been so mad. But a lot of people had multiple points in this game. Brett had 2 goals, Fox had 2 goals, Trocheck with a goal and an assist, and Earl Vakanainen, who fucking sucks by the way, with 2 assists. I want to talk about the Minnesota game because that was a fun game all around. A lot of it was pregame stuff. They win 5-4 in overtime. We have the Rangers had an NHL debut last night.
Yes.
The kid
Gabe
is
Perreault.
here. Gabe
Yes,
Perreault
he's
is
here.
here. He's
Gabe
wearing his
Perreault is
dad's number
here.
94.
Yes, I saw
This
that.
is
I
gonna
saw
be
this
great.
actually this morning on TikTok. I saw that he had signed, and I was gonna bring it up on the podcast. I didn't realize he was gonna debut so fast. I thought maybe Saturday. I figured one of those Saturday against
He
the
could save
Devils
the
kind of
season.
things.
He
Yeah,
could
save
save the
season
season.
kind of thing. Yeah, exactly. Hey, teams have done it before, so it's not out of the ordinary.
Could you? That would be great. But he looks so familiar with NHL ice and ready to be out there playing. He shocked the fuck out of Loft with a pass, and it was really funny. I don't think Loft was expecting him to make a pass like that. It was in between a couple players and went through their legs, and Loft was on the side of the net, and it should have been a decent shot, but Loft just falls on top of the puck. He got surprised that the puck was right there so fast and just fell. I got no idea. But I mean, continuing on with the pregame stuff, the Stephen McDonald Extra Effort Award was handed out last night. Will Cooley was the recipient of it. Nobody else for the award that could have been chosen, which is everybody on the Rangers. Nobody else deserved it more than Will Cooley. Cooley's been the only guy with any kind of heart on this team all season.
Yeah.
And he's pretty much what embodies the award every year. We had former winner Matt Zuccarello in the house because the Wild were here, and he was wearing a Sam Rosen jersey for warm-ups with the number 40 on it. I love it. They all love Sam so much.
And did you hear the news about the TNT broadcast? I can't
Yes,
wait.
that's gonna be so much fun.
I will
Rangers
be watching-
Flyers April 9th.
Yes, I will be watching that because that I mean, again, in my house we didn't have sports channel, so I didn't get the early on Doc Emmerich, and I think Peter McNabb was the color guy for the Devils at the time. So on our basic cable back in the 80s, all we got was MSG. So I used to watch all the Rangers games. I mean, I wasn't a fan of them, but I would watch them, and Sam and John Davidson were the best, and they really got me into like knowing the sport and getting into the sport. So, like I said, as much as I love the Devils, I show my respect for Sam Rosen, especially with Sam Rosen, Don Davidson. That will be one Rangers game I will turn and watch because I love those two back in the day. Yes, they are a lot older now, but it should be some great memories watching, and it's going to be on a national broadcast. So, I'm so glad that TNT, the NHL, this is the kind of stuff the NHL should be doing and should be highlighting. And
this is
it's
fun.
fantastic to see.
And it's Rangers
absolutely.
Flyers. Who could ask for anything better?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no. The only thing that'd be better is a Rangers Devils game for my thing. That would have been fantastic. But
pull up on Saturday too.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm sure.
Show up on Saturday too.
Well, again, the Devils are a classy organization. I'm sure they will, respect him in his last game at Prudential Center. So
oh hell yeah.
I'm sure they'll bring out the red carpet for him. So I'm excited to see what happens on Saturday. It's going to be a good game. Like I said, Rangers fighting for their playoff lives. We're settling into a playoff spot. This is going to be some good stuff going forward.
Yeah, I'm super excited for the game Saturday, and I'm super excited to be able to talk about it next week with everybody. But gang,
absolutely,
this has been another episode, another week at the What the Puck podcast. I've been Nick. That's been Gunk.
Yeah, buddy.
Gunk, we will talk more next week about this game and more stuff that we have going on around the NHL. We couldn't break any news this week, but that's okay because we have so many more weeks to do so. Gang, playoffs are coming up. Just a couple weeks. They start on my birthday, April 19th, so that's going to be fun. Next week we'll probably have more wrestling stuff to talk about.
Yep.
We'll have a lot of stuff going there. But gang,
Oh,
keep it light.
just 2 more
What's
points.
up?
Just 2 more
Oh,
points.
oh,
We should be talking about OV coming up too. 2 more
oh,
away.
wait, hold on. Fuck the outro. Fuck the outro.
Hold
3
on.
goals. He's 3 goals.
3
I
goals.
forgot. Oh my goodness, I completely forgot.
Yeah.
3 goals. This is insane. This is gonna be fun.
And it's gonna be a countdown. I can't wait. This is gonna be so exciting. Even though
Did you see the OV cast?
It.
Why do they the OV cast? Really?
At least they're giving them something, man. I mean, come on. I mean,
I feel like you have no choice. Like this is also this is one of the teams that's fighting for the President's Trophy.
They said it's again. They did it for LeBron when he was approaching it. So again, I'm so glad that they're giving OV the consider the spotlight he deserves. And like I said, we're not Capitals fans, but I love Ovechkin. His shot has been tremendous for over 20 years. So I said, good for him. And just one more thing, you're a Nintendo guy. Switch 2. How you feeling?
Games are so expensive.
I know.
Games are so expensive. Mario Kart looks so cool, but games are $80 to $90, and I can't do that.
I know. I was like as soon as I saw the thing come up yesterday, I was like, oh, I got to talk to Nick about this. When
I was a kid, deluxe editions with so much more stuff was like $90 to $100.
I know.
Now the base game is $90 to $100.
Yes.
I can't keep up anymore, but I will probably end up buying a Switch 2 when the new Pokemon bundle comes out with it. Because then I'll be able to play the game, because I want to play the new Pokemon game. But that's going to be exciting. I'm excited for it. It looks really cool. I like that you can play all the first Switch games on it too.
Yeah.
So you can still use those games and have fun with those. But I think it's going to be exciting.
GameCube games.
Pokemon Coliseum is on there. And now you don't have to pay $200.
Simpsons Hit and Run. That's what we need next, baby. Oh,
I agree. They should just remaster the game.
That's it. I would take it in a heartbeat.
As would I. I think a lot of people would. But
oh yeah, yes,
gang, we got to take this on out of here and have the train leave the station. This has been another episode, another week of the What the Puck podcast. Outro number 2. I've been Nick. That's been Gunk.
Woo.
Gunk, my headphones just cut out. Give me 1 second.
No problem.
So, gang, like I said, this has been another week, and I've been Nick. That's been Gunk. We will catch you all next week.
Yes, sir.
And keep it light, keep it tight, keep it easy, baby. Peace.
Woo. Hockey.